Poducer.
Are we in? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're in focus.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Dude, you have the podcaster voice.
Bro, thank you. People have told me that. I remember, like, a long time ago, some guy was like, you know, you have a radio voice? I was like, I don't know what that means, but I'll take it. Like,
In the mix.
yeah. BBC One. Yo, now that we're in each other's heads, thank you for coming down, making that drive.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude, of course. One thing I wanted to start out on is life is weird.
Yeah, it is. It really is. No, this is my merchandise.
Okay.
Kind of, came up with that slogan and just threw it on everything.
So tell me, like, what's the latest weird event in your life? Because, like, that was the first thing that is on your profile. Life is weird. And I agree, life is fucking weird. But, like...
Okay, so we were just at Backwoods in Arkansas playing that music festival, and there was this guy we met in the crowd. We were at my buddy Jason's set, Jason Leach. He was like an hour after me, so it was easy, like, switch stages, shoot over. This guy comes up to us in the crowd. His name was Mark, I'm pretty sure. Great guy, hanging out, dancing, all the good
having
vibes.
a good time.
Yeah. And all of a sudden he goes, I got to go quickly make a wardrobe change. I'll be right back. We're like, okay, we'll maybe see him in like 15 minutes. Maybe he has to go back to the camping sites or whatever. 30 seconds later, here comes Mark, just in his underwear, rolls straight up to front row and just starts raging face.
Nice.
So the rest of the festival, we played like Where's Waldo, but with him. This dude, since we first met him that initial time, nothing but underwear the whole rest of the festival. And he had these amazing stickers that were like Mark's certified friend that he was handing out. He's apparently a realtor, and he uses this as marketing for his like realtor company. So I thought that was just, it was really cool. I guess that's not so much weird as just like...
It's kind of weird because it doesn't seem like it's coherent with what a realtor would present themselves as.
Yeah.
Like if you showed up for a showing and they were just in their underwear, you'd be like, what is going on?
What's going on?
Is
But
this a porno?
he uses it as a whole marketing thing, and I think that's a great, like...
It
idea.
definitely stands out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who else is doing that? No one. Like, everyone else is like, you got the rave attire girls in like fishnets and pasties and stuff, and just no other dude is just wearing these tight, like, short black underwear.
Was it warm?
Some days it was warm, like, still like pants and a shirt or something, but at night it got cold. Like, it got really cold. Like, I'm like, got long underwear on, like a long sleeve t-shirt and a hoodie, and he's still just in his underwear.
In it.
Nothing, like no backpack or anything, just him, underwear, living life.
Wow, Mark. Shout out Mark.
Yeah. I actually, though, like, I've never met anyone who would have like the balls to actually do that. So it's just such a cool guy to like have that confidence in himself and just enjoy the festival to its fullest. It's what I aspire to be confidence wise,
Hell yeah. So, I mean, just to like stick on life is weird for just another second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, why did you come to that slogan?
I don't know how, like, or remember how it came about. I just remember like thinking, I want to come up with something that I can tie to me and my music that can kind of relate to everyone. And as I'm getting older and, the more we learn about ourselves as humans and the universe and all that, it's all weird. It's like...
No, it's very weird. I agree.
Stoner moments, you're just sitting there, you're like, how are we even alive, moving, consciousness, like all that,
How have I not died yet?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how am I still alive? Yeah.
Yeah. Mushrooms help with the weirdness.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, it's something everyone can relate to, I feel like, especially in the music sphere.
Yeah, for sure. Would you consider yourself a spiritual person?
Yeah, I'd say spiritual. Absolutely. Grew up with the like religious background with the family. I'm not like, spiritual over religious for sure. But yeah, everything's connected, you know, our energy, our vibrations, our frequencies, like when you can dial that in to a certain point, like you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah. I was talking about this on a different show, just that like there's little things that you don't even realize, like the energy you bring to a show, like that Mark brought to the show, like that exists, you know, like you could just think of yourself as another person in the crowd.
Yeah.
But really, you know, you have the ability to change that, and like we are all connected. Not to get like super heady right off the gate.
I know, we
like,
just went straight in a rabbit hole.
but like it's real.
Yeah.
It's real, man. And I just wanted to confront that right out the gate.
Yeah,
Life is weird.
We could go on into that like hole that we started, but it would be like, you know,
Yeah, it'd be a
5 hours
tangent
long.
fest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So before we do that, could you just introduce yourself to the audience so people know who you are?
Absolutely. My name's Peter, but I go by Abel Gray. Musically, I'm a producer, live performer, DJ. Non-musically, you know, event thrower, planner, label head, graphic designer, film. I'm kind of like
a lot of stuff. Yeah.
jack of all trades. Yeah.
Word. Okay, cool, man. Well, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
I normally start out this show with a simple question, which is, what was your first concert?
Okay, first concert or first electronic concert? Because I got great answers for both.
We could do both. I'm down for both.
Cool. They were right back, like back to back almost. So
Cool.
First show, Linkin Park, was at the United Center right after they dropped. I'm blanking on the album name right now. It was the one with Iridescent on it that like Transformers had come out, you know.
Is that like Black Sun or I don't know.
I think it might have been the one before that one.
Okay.
I know which one you're talking about. I think it was right before that one.
Okay.
But yeah, amazing show. You know, being able to see Linkin Park, especially at that point in their career. Rest in peace, Chester.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was just I mean, they're openers too, you know, never heard of them. One of them was like, "Does it offend you?" Yeah. They're like the first people there. Never heard them before, and then listened to them after. And they're a great like group. I don't know if they're still making music, but yeah, I mean, anyone listening to this and music in general, I'm sure has had some experience with Linkin Park, especially where like the time we grew up.
Whenever I'm feeling angsty, it's a go-to.
It is. My first album I bought was Collision Course, which was the Jay-Z Linkin Park mashup.
Yeah.
Which, phenomenal album.
Great album. Yeah.
Yeah. Iconic.
Numb Encore.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah. And the fact, like, I didn't even know when I got that album that they did it live, like a show one night. Like, it was a whole thing. I had no idea. And then when I found that out, I was like super bummed. I didn't know, but...
It's weird. A lot of people I've heard just tell me like Linkin Park was their first album, or just like first, like my brother, it was his first album. I don't remember which one, but just like they did it right.
It might have been just the time period we grew up in. Like they were the
with
big group.
CDs, like or it was like his first CD.
Yeah.
Because we were already past like buying vinyl and shit.
Yeah.
Now it's coming back.
Now it is. Yeah. Now it's like marked up. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Meteora, Hybrid Theory, amazing albums.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just at that right time where we're all like, you know, kind of getting in like middle school, high school age for most people.
Yeah. That's a good first concert, man.
Yeah.
That's like a good way to start it.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. Couldn't have asked for a better one. Like looking back, like first concert, some people will say like, oh, you know, Katy Perry or something. It's like, no, Linkin Park. The Wiggles.
I'm just waiting for someone to say the Wiggles.
Fruit Salad's a slapper, dude.
It's a banger. 100%.
But then for electronic music, okay, so this was Skrillex right after he dropped Scary Monsters, Nice Sprites.
Oh, back when he like wasn't really a good DJ.
Yeah.
Like do you remember that?
He wasn't DJing. It was more like he had I think it was like a machine, I think, or something like, or an APC that he was playing on.
Really?
I forget where it was in Chicago. I forget the venue. But he had it set up where it was all motion capture. And this was back when. So like everything he was doing, he had like aliens and beings behind him that were copying his movements.
Oh, whoa.
And it was
dude, I remember when he would be like, like, yeah, and it would be like, yeah, dude, I remember that. He was motion captured basically in like the background.
Yeah, and motion capturing like wasn't even a thing then.
Yeah,
and
he was ahead of the curve.
Exactly, and he had like these cool like the production, the screen behind him were like these hexagonal columns that would like work with the music that they had stuff like going with that fit really well. And then I didn't know them at the time. The openers were, I'm pretty sure I want to say Tommy Trash, Dylan Francis, and Dada Life.
Wait, okay, where did you see this show?
I think it was the Congress, maybe.
Congress, dude. Oh my! I wonder if this was this. If I went to this show, because I remember like when a bunch of my friends went to go see him at the Congress.
That might have been it.
This might have been it.
Oh man, now I got to think of the year. There's maybe like.
Dude, it had to be like
2009.
Yeah, like something like that. Because I was in high school.
Same.
Yeah.
And I remember I shot down, drove from the burbs, went to the show, and then I had to leave early because like it was getting super late. Like he was going really late. And someone
we were also like 16.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever,
like fresh with the license. Like
yeah.
Yeah, and then that was a star-studded lineup that.
Dude, that's like there's this effect where when you look back on lineups, you're like, dude, how did we see all of that in one show? You know?
I know, but it was also before any of them like became who they are now.
Yeah.
You know, like that's like saying like, oh, seeing Porter Robinson when he did Spitfire, which was also on like Skrillex's label, like the first release. No one like, you know, they knew Unison and stuff, but like he wasn't there yet.
I remember I saw Nero at the Congress and Dylan Francis opened up. I feel like I've told this story on the podcast, but like he was just doing his thing and me and my buddy were just like, yeah, this guy's pretty good. And it's just like, he just now is huge, you know?
Yeah. Well, I Don't Give a Fuck or Shit, the song, you know, that was older... it was like the one that kind of blew him up. And it's funny if you listen in the drop of his song, he has the word fap just going like fap, fap, fap. And you don't even know it, but once you hear it, you'll never unhear it. Sorry for ruining that for anyone who...
It's one of those.
Yeah.
One of those once you hear it moments.
Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, cool.
Wow.
So both pretty like great first concerts.
Yeah.
I would say.
I would agree.
Some people aren't as fortunate. I would also say.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you started though.
Yeah,
as long
that's
as you
true.
Start.
I mean, that's with life too, though.
That's real. Like, yeah, I get kind of OCD about stuff like, oh, what's going to be my first of this? And
just got to send it sometimes.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like with stuff like, there's this like concept that I have in my head that when you present yourself, you want everything to be like perfect. You know what I mean? But you can't sterilize the process because then it's just like, I don't know. Some people will come back and rebrand themselves. And at that point, because they've had so many years in the game, they just are like, everything they're putting out is just like immaculate type of deal. But I really don't think you have that unless you just never post anything. And then just were like, all right, after 10 years of like honing my 1,000 hours or 10,000 hours, whatever, like now I'm going to post something like,
and then in a year you'll hate it.
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
So, you know, if I went with and that's the hardest thing I feel like as producers and like people who put out music, something I find between everyone, not just me or you, that strive for perfection. At some point you just have to say it's good. It's there. And that's the hardest thing. Like, because when you put out a song or anything that you've like created, that's a part of you going into the world to showcase yourself. Yeah. And if I waited until everything was perfect, I'd probably never release music or anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a big hurdle for a lot of people to get over. Some people aren't like perfectionists like that and they'll just put stuff out. But I think a lot of artists probably are.
They do, especially in today's market, because like you need to hit a certain level. I feel like the stigma, you have to have your music at a certain level for it to do anything, just because of the high quality production and mixing and mastering that all these big artists have. Yeah. But people also have to realize, like, you know, take someone like Elenium, for example. He's making his stuff, but he's shooting that over to someone else to mix and master and like deal with. That's how, that has to be how he's coming out with like an album every year or so.
Mm-hmm.
He's just whipping it all up and then, okay, here, I'm going to pay you, deal with this. But that comes with like, when you got those big artist bucks, you can do that.
Yeah, you can fall back on your mix engineer.
Mm-hmm.
I think the mentality that is like my mature mentality is everything's like a time capsule. And if you just at least give it your best, that like you really can't have any regrets.
Absolutely. And that's the big thing. It's like, you're never going to know what's going to happen until you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take that leap.
Yeah.
You have to just start. Everyone started somewhere. No one just woke up and maybe Martin Garrix.
Yeah. I mean, he really had a big come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was wild. But yeah, no one just, first track out the gate is a banger unless it's like you said, someone rebranded or started a side project.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, I think a good thing to do at this point so people can, kind of get a taster of your music is to play a track.
Okay.
What should we play though?
All right, we can kick it off with, I'm trying to think of all the ones I sent. So we could do Lost My Mind. So I gave you all unreleased tracks, but this track is releasing.
We appreciate that.
This track is releasing next Friday with the X Medias compilation album.
Cool.
So I thought that'd be a good one, to kick it off with as it's coming out next week.
Yeah, let's run it.
I can't deny you crossed a line, brush it aside, fall back in time. Your words got stuck deep in my mind. I put you on repeat, time after time. I don't know you like I want to. Where were you when I lost my mind?
Is this Noel?
This is Noel.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about that.
Good. I'm glad.
Tell me I'll be fine. I'm lost inside. I'm lost inside. I'm lost inside. Where were you when I lost my mind?
Her voice is like perfect for this kind of music.
Yeah. For a bunch. We got a bunch of stuff in the works that's like this and other stuff.
Were you when I lost my mind?
It's kind of headbangery, like
Yeah, a little bit.
I can't reply to broken lines. Take back my time, rethink this life. I feel the pain from miles away. Saw past your acts, gone astray. I don't know
So let's talk a little bit about Noelle.
Yes.
Because you seem to work with her on quite a few different things.
Yeah. So
And bring her out on stage and like, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
How did that come to be?
So in college, I had a group of friends. One of them was a ballet dancer named Fabi. And one year, I think it was like New Year's or something, I was throwing a party at my house out, like in Barrington, like out in the suburbs. We all went to school at Butler in Indiana. So a lot of kids came from like the Chicago suburbs over there. And Fabi brought along some friends. You know, we're never going to say no to more girls coming to the party as college kids.
Sorry.
No. And I met Noelle then, and we like chatted a little bit. A couple of times, nothing really happened. A couple years later, I'm pretty sure. When I finished college, I came back and I was like really taking music seriously, like really trying to become a good producer. Because up until that point, it was all like film and digital media. And I like made that switch like towards the end of college that I wanted to move more towards music. And I remembered that she was a singer and she has done stuff with bands and stuff like that. So being the in your basement of your parents' house producer that I was like, let's get some vocals going. So hit up Noelle, and we actually recorded in the basement in this little closet where my mom helped me. We took nails and we put up all this like the acoustic foam just in this one room under a staircase. And we had a like crappy microphone, crappy headphones, whatever. And we just started making music. You know, some of it saw the light of day, some of it didn't. But going forward, you know, I just kept working with Noelle, like on all this stuff. Like, oh, I made a song Noelle would sound great on. I mean, Noelle just has an amazing voice overall. Like she really fits on everything, absolutely everything. So we just kept making more and more music till the point like we have enough songs where, you know, if we wanted to just do a set with just our music, we could.
Yeah.
Like it's at that level. So whenever I have shows come up in Chicago or any like shows anywhere really that Noelle can make it out to and she wants to, she's always like welcome, has a spot on stage, to the point where like I'll cut out tracks of mine to put in more tracks of hers and stuff, because, you know, we started this in a basement somewhere and now we're getting these stages, and Noelle's a great friend too, like so many good memories on the road and going to all these places. So yeah, anytime I can, I bring her out. And that adds something else too, like having someone on stage singing, like that's like part of like the live performance stuff I brought in, like visual elements. Like it gets the crowd more involved. Like people are there. She hops on stage, everyone starts pulling out their phones and taking videos and stuff. Like Noelle really does an amazing job. And
yeah, dude, humans want to see humans do cool shit.
Exactly. And I mean, so we have this song coming out Friday. We have, I can't tell you how many songs beforehand. We got a EP where I think one of the songs is on there, where she duets with someone else on like every track on the EP. And it's really cool, like guy, girl, vocal, like back and forth. And then actually this Saturday, we're recording a song that is very different from any of the stuff we've done together, in a different sphere of like bass and stuff. It's really cool. And that'll be like, you know, for an album I'm working on next year. But
so you got stuff out, like pushed far into the future.
Yeah. Absolutely. So it's, you know, I plan on taking Noelle with me all the way to the top.
Hell yeah. Dude, no, that's awesome, man. I have a few things that, like, I don't know which way to go here, but I guess since we talked about live performances,
okay,
you know, you get on stage, and first of all, let me just say, you got good stage energy. You got some DJs up there, like myself included, sometimes just like looking at the screen, looking for the next like transition point or whatever. You're like really engaging the crowd.
Thank you.
And may I say that you seem like you're in shape.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely. All right, so there's a couple
this
things
man's
I don't
like
know
kind of jacked. I'm not gonna lie. Like he's got a jacket on, but like check out his Instagram. I just did that before he came through.
This jacket actually might come off in a little bit.
It might have
hot,
to come.
But,
yeah, it is. It's getting hot in here.
I don't even know which point to jump off.
No,
of
yeah,
that,
yeah,
so,
no. Basically, you got a lot of stage energy and like,
tequila.
yeah, okay.
No, tequila definitely helps. So I don't really drink, except for when I perform. It's just something I kind of like cut out of my life. Like I was a wild man in college, you know, partying and all that. And even after college, like, you know, playing the clubs until like 5 a.m. and stuff. Like,
Yeah. And you're getting drink tickets.
exactly. And it helped my girlfriend. She was a bottle girl we met at a club that I was playing at. She was a bottle girl and all
You
that.
found
So
love in the club.
we did. And it worked out because we'd both be going home at the same time. You know, we'd both be getting home at like 6 a.m., sleeping until like 2 or 3. And then it just worked really well at that point in our life. But she knew everyone too. And through that, I knew everyone. So there's just constant drinks going and going. And I'm at the age now where I can't do that.
No, I feel like I do it for the podcast and I do it for like the shows.
Yeah.
And then I'm not really a big drinker in the first place. I wasn't built that way. Like it just doesn't mix with my body super
got
well.
you.
I'm a lightweight.
Yeah. I feel you like this beer, I'll get like halfway through that and like get a buzz.
Yeah. We'll be
You know what I'm
chilling.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
but I need that like before I get on stage, like a shot before stage. And then I usually take like a 50-50 mixed drink on stage. That's usually like half tequila and the rest is like some Sprite, little Red Bull, little orange juice. Like
Yeah.
as that goes down, I'll add water to it. So it like get the hydration in there. But,
Yeah.
yeah, so stage presence, you know, it's not something I always had. I had to teach myself like how to do this. And I learned like as I did it more, the crowd responded more. So now it's like almost going on stage, I need to like flip a switch, like a persona switch, and really just kind of give this entertainment performance to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, how do you cultivate that? I mean, one thing I also wanted to talk about is just like, do you feel like working out and like, I don't know what your workout routine is like. You clearly work out like a little bit, you know, like maybe you just genetically just like, fuck.
No. I mean, at least 3 times a week, maybe 4.
Yeah.
I try to get in there because I mean, I'm sitting around all the time in front of a
sitting at the
computer.
dude.
And, you know, that's also a confidence thing too. Like, you want to look good, you know, you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
Be the best you can, like physically, mentally, spiritually, you know, check all the boxes. My cardio shit, but you know,
I mean, there's a lot of cardio on stage. You're jumping around.
yeah,
you know?
oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times like I've gotten a cramp up there. And I'm like, oh no, and I'm like in the middle of drumming.
Good. Yeah.
That's always rough. That's a fun one. That's always fun to deal with. No, yeah, I mean, I'm trying now that it's nice out to get out as much as I can and do something that will like help me with cardio.
Yeah, I guess the thing I'm trying to get at, and we'll stay on the live performance for a second because there's a few things here, but just like, because I know you got the trope of the producer that's literally just like hunched over, sitting at the computer all day, doesn't work out at all. And then you got a lot of more like high performing people are like, I don't miss workouts. I do cold plunge. I do sauna. I like do all this stuff to make sure I'm in the best, you know, physical shape, which also affects your mental health, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not at the cold plunge yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't set up a tub or
tough.
anything. Yeah. I'd love to like have access to a sauna. Like, I think saunas are great, especially in college. Like after long weekends of partying, like hit a sauna and everything's flushed out of you. Or when you're sick too, like they're great. But yeah, I mean, it's weird. I mean, I feel like anyone you ask who like really exercises and works out, once they stop, they like don't see themselves in the same way. It's weird. Like all these people who like, you know, I'm talking like pro like lifters and stuff like that. Like body dysmorphia is a real thing. Like, you know, you're used to like looking at a level of peak for you. And then like, if you stop and that dwindles, you're going to be like your confidence will drop. Like, you know, mentally, you'll like decline a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. No, I feel that for sure. Like, what's a better, you know, like you can wear clothes and look cool and stuff, but like if you take off your clothes and you still look good, that's like the cheat code.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like, all right, well, fuck it. I don't even have to wear anything.
Mark at Backwoods, bro. Just
Yeah,
underwear
dude, Mark,
everywhere.
Was Mark in shape, or was he just like got a normal dad bod?
Mark's
maybe?
a normal dude, you know.
Yeah.
Which even more power to him, you know.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that is not really talked about that much with, I don't know, like I guess producers. Like you don't, and we're talking more like less DJing right now and more like producing. Like I wonder if people, you know, focused more on their fitness, if they'd have more energy to like work on stuff and like it would change their minds. You know what I mean? It's just like, I think it's important, but you don't get a lot of that being taught, at least.
No, definitely not. And you know, like, man, I like, I don't know where to go from there. Give me a second.
It's just like, it's just something that I think about.
Yeah, I mean, I do it more as like breaks, as like mental difference kind of thing. You know, like when I'm working out, it's my mind is only focused on working out. I try it to be, you know, obviously I'm like, you know, getting calls or emails and shit I got to deal with. But for the most part, I like to use that time to just focus on something completely different, something that I don't have to think about.
Yeah.
And just do. And the way I schedule it out is so like I have days where I can just days I can just work on music, and then other days where I'll get like a 2-hour lift in, and then I might work on some stuff, but that'll be more of like a take care of business day, you know, like all the back end stuff. So it's just a good break. And, you know, it's good to get your body moving to some extent. Like after sitting around, like, I mean, I'm in front of the computer so many hours. And then if not that, I'm in front of Xbox ripping some no-build Fortnite, like, you know. So having that, if I didn't have that, like, I'd just whittle away.
For sure. Yeah, no, I just wanted to sit here for a sec because it's just like, you know, obviously producing, DJing, they're all disciplines, but, you know, working out in your body, it's just like, that's another discipline that's just, I think, neglected sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. But also, like, not everyone needs that. Like, I do it for me, you know, like, I don't do this to like look good or something. Obviously it helps, like I said, with like confidence stuff, but it's more just for me because I want to be in shape.
Yeah.
You know, I want to look at myself and be like, you're doing all you can to be the best you can.
For sure. No, I feel that. I mean, I'm sure it helps though. You do a lot of interesting stuff with the live performance, drumming with pads and whatnot.
Yeah.
Queuing up stuff on like Push, I think I saw.
Yeah. So, do we want to transition to the live stuff?
Let's go to the live stuff now. Yeah, that was a big tangent to be like, I don't know. I was just curious if there was more to it there in like being an integral part of your process. You know, you seem like you're regimented.
Yeah, you know, and that's another thing, like when you start doing music full time, you know, or to an extent where it like takes over your life, you need stuff to take breaks from that.
Yeah.
Like, and put yourself in different positions, in different scenarios, different settings to just get out of that area.
Yeah. And it also just like feels great. The endorphins.
It really does. I mean, it's going to take, if you're just starting, like 6 weeks to see results. Week 4.
But you get those newbie gains.
That's true.
That's huge, honestly.
Yeah. And if you do it right, you can be looking shredded real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Depending on your genetics and everything. That's another big thing. So don't get discouraged, but just,
I mean, you say that, but I see these like transformation videos from people, right, and it's like not genetics at all. Like this person put in the work.
They're doing fucking roids, baby. I mean, that's like another whole rabbit hole. That we're
Okay.
Yeah. But
rewind.
To rewind it back to just like live performance.
Yes.
Like, when did you start incorporating the drumming on stage and not just doing like, oh, I'm gonna do like a DJ set or?
So, I mean, yeah, it was around during the time of COVID when everyone was locked in. You know, I took that time to figure out what I could do more and how I could do it in my live performances. And you know what, like everyone, don't think like, oh, live performance means you have to have all this stuff. No, you just find something that you think you can integrate in a way that you can make work. Like, you know, it doesn't need to be some crazy production of, here's 5 things now set up and a keyboard and all that. Like you could just bring out a launch pad,
Yeah.
you know. So my setup, what I do is I have CDJs. I still run everything through the mixer of the CDJs. I've had to format my stuff to be able to like set up quickly in clubs when I was starting. So all my stuff runs RCA gear straight into the mixer on the like channel 1 and 4. So channel 2 and 3 still for CDJs. I run backing tracks essentially with that like don't have the elements that I'll be performing live. And then I got the push running Ableton, or that can be switched out for a launch pad, depending on like how far I'm traveling. Like if I can bring a push with me, I'll bring the push because the tempo knob up there is just way more convenient than going to the laptop and changing the tempo.
Yeah, it looks better too.
Yeah.
You're not like fucking around on your computer.
Exactly. So when I can, I'll bring the push. And so that's running, I'm essentially sampling my own music. So vocal chops or chord progressions, for example. So like, you know, here's my chord progressions in my Ableton project file. Let me export just the chords or like, you know, piano strings, whatever. And then I take that out and chop them up. Each chord is now going to become its own sample. So I play the chord progression, not like physically the notes, but like sampling it.
Yeah.
So I sample parts of the music like that. And then the drum pads, obviously the drums.
So let me ask you, have you noticed a difference in the crowd's reaction to when you perform like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
what's the difference?
What's the difference when you go see someone like who's just standing behind decks versus like
Yeah.
an Odessa? I mean, obviously not that level. I don't got a drum line.
No, but when I saw you doing it, I was like, that's some Odessa type deal. Yeah.
You know, it's just taking it to the next level. It was, how can I make myself stand out even more? What can I do to push myself away from the like giant mass of people? And don't get me wrong, like, I still love DJing. Like I throw down DJ sets quite often because it's fun.
Yeah.
I don't have to do as much. I can actually have a good time and hang out and do that. But no, the live performance it definitely changed the game. It brought that extra something. People took notice. It opened up more because now I can do a fully live set, a DJ set, or a hybrid set mixing of the two. And, you know, like when I played summer camp last year, I did a live set and a DJ set, which was great. So now I got 2 sets out of that festival versus just one, and there was completely different kinds of music.
Oh, so did you book 2 different sets?
No, I played, they had their on the road competition. I won that competition doing live with Noelle. And then
nice.
We played summer camp, did the live performance with her. The on the road contest was only like 30 minutes, and then the actual performance was an hour. So we like did a full on thing. And then right after my set, people came up to me and they're like, yo, we want you to headline the Silent Disco Sunday. And I was like, okay, say less. Let's lock it in. And it works like, so like when I was on tour with Jason Leach, I did my live set and he was after me, but if he needed to like plug in anything or some of his equipment wasn't working, he just would look at me and I'd just start DJing and just filling in that time. So, you know, it's good to have both like in the bag.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. I really want to talk about X Medias.
Okay.
But
okay. That's the transition point right here. I got X Media shirt on.
Yeah,
We'll run a
do
track
thing.
first.
Yeah, let's run a track.
Let's do it.
Do we have a preference?
Preference. We can probably just go down the line. I think.
Let's do it.
All
It's
right.
one of my favorite
so
Pretty Lights
Back to
songs.
Life.
Oh no. We'll see.
Not that one.
I'm trying to think the order I sent you. Either.
When I downloaded them, it might have changed because I put them in a folder. But
Absolutely. We can do All I Wanted,
Yeah.
or that's actually a collab with an X Medias artist.
Cool.
There's 2 X Medias artist collabs on there.
Cool.
Yeah.
In the eye of the storm, you keep me calm. You're all I wanted. You're all I
So this is a collab with X Media's artist Hash BBC.
BBC Radio 1X.
Exactly. Yeah, it was funny. He had a bunch of music and he sent me this. Like he had a song there, but it was more so like these verses are like what we kept from it. Tweaked them up a little bit, and then I just like took over the drops, which is very different from the music I usually do. But excuse me, I just want to make something bassy.
No, it goes. Yeah, it's raunchy. Dude.
Yeah.
Some like Skrillexy chops kind of like I'm hearing a little bit.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to make, because like I said, it's not my normal like melodic style, but I love playing bass music, so yeah, it was fun to just dive into that.
Yeah, so what's like I mean, I don't know if you're looking for a specific genre with X Medias, or you know, what is kind of like the cohesive part of it, because that definitely, from what I've heard from the label, that feels in line.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really discriminate against genres.
Cool. Me neither.
Yeah, all genres are welcome. No, like, so this comp coming out next Friday, we have everything from like future bass, melodic bass to like techno and house to stuff in between. Good music is just good music, and that was something like in Chicago, you don't want to admit it, but a lot of stuff's gate kept.
Yeah.
A lot of it is gate kept. I'm sure you've come to experience this, like working through the scene as you have so far. Like, it's hard to get your foot in the door unless you know someone.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to create a place where we didn't have to deal with that, where we could make our own path. And I'm lucky enough to have finally, you know, gotten through a lot of that after years and years of doing music here, to break through and like play these amazing venues now. And I just want to give these opportunities to everyone else, you know. I'm like, that was the goal of X Medias, was to create a place where everyone could be, if it was good music, and just like help pass along the opportunities and like knowledge that I've gained to everyone else, because, you know, there's room for everyone in the scene. Like, there's no reason people should be left out. Like, if you're doing what you're doing and you're doing a good job, like, there's a spot for you, easy.
Yeah.
I just want to pass it all forward, you know. And it was where I came up with the idea years and years ago, to the point where it's like my Xbox gamer tag. You know, I was like, I need to claim this idea of mine.
Yeah.
And then finally, it just came to the point where I was like, no one's going to do this for me. I have to do this. You know, you can't wait around anymore. It's like, let me make my own thing and give back as much as I can, give people the resources they need. I mean, I remember the first time I signed a song to a label, you know, it was such a crazy experience.
Yeah.
And I want to give that to everyone else. Like, that's an amazing feeling to like hit that point where someone else fucks with you enough to like put you on.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, so
how did you come up with the name X Medias?
I took it from the Latin literary term in media res, which is like in the middle of things. So like when a movie starts or you're reading a book and it just like right in the middle of things, it just jumps in, you know?
Oh.
So I took it from that. So out of the middle, or like out of nothing, kind of just, yeah, that was my little tweak on that.
Interesting. I like the name.
Thank you.
I like the concept of also starting in the middle.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of like, it makes sense, like where you are at when you're, you know, hosting people. It's like, I've done all this stuff. We're in not the middle of your career, but like I've built up something, let's go from here type of deal.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm building off that. I always say, it's always just the beginning. Like there's always something more. That's something I like really stick with. It's always just the beginning. Like no matter how many shows I'm doing or like label signs or whatever, it's still just the beginning.
So when you're looking for people, I know that there's I think for this last one there was like a submission, like you could submit and then you review it and then you decide who's on it that way, right?
Yeah, we tried that this time. And it's always sad, when like people send you a bunch of music and they hit you up and it just doesn't make the cut. Like it's nothing against, and I hate that part, but
yeah, it's tough.
A lot of the artists on there have been like recommended from other artists. It's just like, hey, I have this buddy who makes good music,
makes
like,
crazy,
shoot it over. Oh, this is dope. Let's do it. A lot of the artists have personal connection. Well, I mean, not when I first like signed them or put them on, but like over time, like it's a family now. So if any of those artists co-sign someone, obviously, I take that into account. And
yeah, it's like just such a real concept, dude. We're human beings, man. Like you have a friend. Like that's how I got you over here, man.
Yeah.
It's like Jay Willie. Shout out Jay Willie.
Shout out
It's
Jay
just
Willie,
like,
man.
I was like, yo, you think Abel Gray would be interested? And he was like, I don't know, maybe hit him up. Like, and it's just like it's easier when you have the cosign.
Absolutely.
And that's not like some nepotism thing.
Absolutely not. But like, that's why we did the demo submission, because there's so many artists out there. Like, I would probably say right now in all careers or in that sphere, like music is probably the most oversaturated, next to probably OnlyFans. But like, what I'm saying?
Bro, there's always room for more ass.
Oh my gosh.
I would say. Back to X Medias. What else did I want to ask you about this? I don't know, man. It seems like a lot to run a label.
It is. It is. And I'm going to say this quote that my brother told me. I think it was right before I fully sent X Medias. And he told me, and he was like joking around when he said it, but I took it to heart. It was, everyone wants to be the beast until it's time to do what the beast does. It's like everyone wants that level, but you have to put in, the work to get there. And like I said before, no one was going to do it for me. No one was going to magically be like, here's this community where everyone can fit in and everyone can give feedback and help each other build to their like full potential. Yeah. So I just did it.
Yeah, that's dope, dude. Honestly, like, keep going with it. Because that's the other thing that I think about. It's like, you just got to keep pushing.
You do. And that's the hardest. So like, last year we had a lot of releases, more than this year. And that's because I really had to put my music on hold to get X Medias up and running last year. Yeah. It takes a lot. Like, and it's mostly back end stuff, like just all the bullshit of, okay, here's a song. Okay, when's the release date? What's the schedule going to look like for content posting? Okay, let's get this content together. And that's only part of one release. Okay, what promotion are we going to do? Like, it's crazy, all the stuff that goes into it. And I just, so this year we have the one comp. And we had like one single drop already from Free Apollo. And they're also going to be on the compilation. So unless it's like a comp or like someone really hits me up like randomly and I have the time to actually send the track out and deal with distribution and getting everything together, it's going to be hard to do. But I still plan on keep doing it. And I mean, we throw events now. So last year we did Chop Shop. We did take over there, which was super sick.
It's right down the street, baby.
Yeah, I love Chop. That LED screen is amazing. Yeah. What happened was I was supposed to open for Slumberjack, and they wanted Slumberjack only wanted female or trans like producers or artists to open for them.
That's a specific request.
It was specific, so I was like, they're probably trying to like help that niche in the EDM community grow. Yeah. And
But you're over here like, bro, I'll throw down.
Yeah, I'll throw down, dude. So I came to them with artists, and I was like, here's artists that I've worked with. These are really awesome chick producers. I also want to, be on the lineup too. Like if I can, that'd be awesome. If not, here are these artists to choose from that I think would fit this well. And what happened was something with their visas fell through.
Oh.
So they weren't able to do the show.
So you took over?
So I took over, and I was like, this is going to be an X Media show now. And that was our first one, and it was awesome. I forget how many artists we had, but it was a great time until it ended early because a giant fight broke out in the crowd.
Really?
Yeah, this one really drunk guy just started going crazy and like punched a security guy in the back of the head or something. Whoa. And it was wild. It was
You're
crazy.
Just like, what the?
Yeah, I was like, this is not what we stand for, I swear. No, it was really cool. And then after that, we did Primary.
Nice.
Which was super fun. Cool venue, that like underground.
Dude,
vibe.
so many. I've been there so much recently.
Yeah, they're really doing a lot now, and they're branching out more from just like the techno house stuff, which is really cool to see. They're getting some like bass acts in there. I actually threw an X Media show, but it wasn't like with X Media's artists. Well, a couple were on. It was Caption, Saturn, Cab were like the main three dudes. I'm like in the trap scene.
Okay.
But I know Primary is now working with Aris. Presents, which is super dope that they're like pushing stuff to that venue.
So one thing that's always the thing for me that I'm curious about is how do these things come to be? You know what I mean? And I know like
throwing your own show.
Yeah, like throwing your own show. Like I mean, I every city's probably got specific people that but like, is it that same thing where it's kind of like you're in the game for a long time, some people and.
Yeah, that helps. That can definitely help, but it's not needed. Like you can start small and build up. Like you could start a monthly at Matilda. Like you were just talking about that before the show. You could start a monthly there, start plugging people kind of curate a night, and then slowly once that like starts to gain some traction, you got to grow. You got to go to bigger venues.
Yeah.
It definitely helps if your name has somewhat of a weight that you can sling around a little bit. I'm not saying mine does or anything, but I know some
artists. I think it
artists
does. You're not like a freshman in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're young. You look good. But I'm just saying, it's like you've been in the game.
Yeah, and definitely, like I started working for Good Look Chicago way back when. And that was great. Like that's how, I started playing places in the city and stuff. And I ran their blog and their merchandise too. So it was like, it's cool because now I'm just taking all the stuff I learned and doing it for myself and my own label and collective. But yeah, so back to the throw in your own thing. I'd say if you were serious about doing it, you find a venue, be reasonable with like, don't be like, hey, Concord or Radius or whatever, I want to throw a show here and it's not like a big tier artist, So first things first, find the venue, find the capacity. What kind of show do you want to throw? What artists do you want to bring out? If it's just going to be local people, you can curate that too. And that's a lot easier to do. But if you want to try to have like the place fill up, you got to bring a bigger artist in. You're going to have to pay them, their rider, their ground transportation, everything, their stay on top of their fee.
Yo, I got an extra bed.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you got to be like kind of...
the couch pulls out.
Yeah. I got a blow-up mattress.
Yeah. No, but so it's definitely doable.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this from someone who went from not throwing events to throwing events,
Yeah. No, this is kind of like, thank you, because this is kind of what I'm saying. It's like having like a little bit of a roadmap, I think is helpful for people who maybe are thinking about doing it and just don't even know what like the parameters are at all.
Yeah, and I hate to say, and if you get into the event throwing and show throwing sphere, you're gonna learn. And I really hate to say this as an artist, but you're gonna want to put people on who can pull people in. And that's the hardest thing because there are so many amazing artists, you know, and deserve their time. And I try to plug everyone as much as I could, but at the end of the day, you need some people there who are going to bring a majority of the crowd in. Or else you're going to lose money. You're not going to be invited back. It's going to have a negative like mark on the event to some extent. So that's what I'm saying. Start small and grow from there. We were just lucky that the first one was, you know, happened to be at Chop Shop. For some fluke, someone fell out and I will fill that void easily. And we killed it. We had it packed. It was a great time. But that's not like, you know, I started even doing stuff before then, like throwing pool parties where I just have the DJs all come and just hang out, throw down a set. No DJ is going to go somewhere and be offered to throw down a set and not throw down. You know, every artist would be like, yeah, give me those decks. I want people to listen to me.
Yeah.
So I threw live streams like during COVID at this club venue in Madison where they just had me like curate the whole thing and bring artists out. So, you know, it's like you're never going to know you can do it until you do it. And once you do it, you're going to learn what you did wrong, what you need to improve on. It's just like making music or anything else. Like, I'm going to make this track. I'm going to mix and master it myself, right? I put it out. People might give you feedback. This needs work. This needs work. Okay, next time I'll do it better.
Yeah. I would just say that you can always rebrand to a party or something or like whatever.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I think that getting into event throwing is a little bit more, it's just a little riskier than just like sitting in your bedroom making some music. It doesn't work out. It's like, yeah, okay, I bought some speakers or I can listen to music still or you know what I mean? It's just, it's a different thing, you know?
All right, let's say you and some buddies want to throw an event, right?
Yeah.
You guys all make sick music, cool DJs, cool. You can pull a decent crowd. Do it. Don't expect to like, even if you break even from that show, it'll be worth it. Get someone there to take photos, take some video, because now you have content for the next week for any songs you have coming. Like it can all be wrapped around to where it's like, oh, I might have lost a little money, but now I have something that I can use later on that will benefit me. So like content being that thing, like everyone needs content. Oh, I have a song coming out. Cool. I need a photo to like post with that, you know?
Yeah.
Let me get a video of me playing the song out. Like it all works out.
Yeah.
In that sense of like, you can gain something even when you lose something.
Yeah. You got to invest in yourself.
Absolutely.
Like not to be corny, but real.
No, absolutely. Like, especially today with like promotion and stuff, like for music, like you think the Chainsmokers are getting these streams without putting thousands and thousands of dollars behind that? No.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just funny, man. It's like, I feel like on this podcast, I try to pull back the curtain slightly in the sense that when you first get into stuff, I know I wasn't very savvy with any of this. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how many like younger listeners or whatever. I would hope that if there are younger listeners that this is, you know, just like a helpful thing. You know what I mean?
YouTube is your best friend.
Yeah.
And everything. I cannot stress that enough. Literally from fixing it, like, or for changing a flat tire to like,
yeah, it's the shit.
Like, I can tell you how many times I've been like, oh, I gotta learn this program. Okay, YouTube tutorial done.
Yeah. So I did that the other day with Blender. I was like, followed it to a T. I was like, cool.
Yeah, and now and the visual aspect is so key.
I'm no Blender expert, but I know how to do one thing. Once you have that. Anyway, speaking of YouTube, this is going to be a hard transition, but I saw that you met Mr. Bill.
Yes. Yeah, at Primary.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he played at Primary right after the Phantasmagoria EP or album.
Wasn't that recent?
It was like...
No, I'm wrong.
No.
He just released something.
You're right. It wasn't that. This was the album with like Pasta Masta on it, which is like one of my favorite songs of his. That whole album is phenomenal. But it was like right after the album dropped. It was like right around New Year's too, like right before the turn of the year. So maybe like 2 years ago, technically, but like, you know, it was on that cusp. Yeah, he played a show at Primary and I was like, I gotta go. It's Mr.
Like
Bill, dude.
Dude, he's brought up so much. Like the other day I was like, you better not say that you learned it from Mr. Bill. And they were like, yeah.
Everyone learns stuff from Mr. Bill or AU5.
True that.
But AU5 is like, dude, that man is like, he speaks Serum. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty sure now he is, he's like hired by Serum to like do all their updates and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He went that deep.
I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's there. I mean, his tutorials are crazy. His sound design is what Mr. Bill too.
There's a lot of good people to follow on YouTube. There's definitely no shortage of like producing tutorials on YouTube.
Absolutely not.
There's wicked talent.
You can learn every genre that you want to through there. But speaking of sound, I just want to drop this real quick. At Backwoods, I had the pleasure of meeting and chilling with for a while Cohen Sound.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. So we threw down an amazing set. And
Is it two guys?
It is, but only one of them was there because one of them is still waiting for, I think, visa. He's still in the UK.
Yeah.
So one's dealing with like Europe dates and tours and stuff. The other one's doing like North America tours.
That's kind of smart.
But I think they're going to be doing something again together as a duo coming up soon.
Okay. Cool.
And he hopped off stage. We're hanging out in the green room, and speaking of the green room, Backwoods, I cannot stress this enough. Amazing job for the artists. It was they ran stuff so well. It was so cool, and they were just handing out in the green room these THC seltzer drinks and stuff. Like,
that sounds dangerous. You're like, wait, these have THC? You already drank like 4. You're
I
like,
know.
No, I'll be good.
I'll be good. No, they were amazing, and so we're just hanging out back there, and he like comes down for a quick second, and we just run. I'm waiting for him to come down. Obviously, it's Cohen Sound. I've been listening to this dude since Funk Blaster, since the Dynasty EP, Seventh Dimension, like Outlaw days. Like, bro, come down here. I gotta meet you. For a quick hey. We ended up chatting with him for like almost an hour. Like, he was going to just head back to the hotel right after his set, but then he ended up staying and grabbing some gin and tonics, and we were all just shooting the shit for like a while.
Hell yeah.
And it was amazing because like, no matter how many times I meet these like artists who like I've looked up to for so long, they're all just normal people at the end of the day. They're just chill dudes, and most of them are like the nicest people you'll ever meet. Like, always have time for you kind of thing.
I'm going to try to use this as a transition into something I wanted to talk about was just like touring.
Okay.
And one of the things I'm sure that's difficult to do is eat well on tour.
The absolute worst.
Yeah. What's like the go-to, like, fuck it. Like we're on the road. We're getting fucking Waffle House or something.
It's literally, so far, it's just been whatever city we show up in. We just look up on Google Maps food.
Okay.
Because we don't know
Food
what
near
to
me.
Yeah, pretty much. And we just look, what do we got to taste for? But 90% of the time, it's not healthy whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I do a bad job of eating healthy on the road because I'm like, oh yeah, another cheeseburger sounds great. No, there was actually, we were in Atlanta, and I was with Jason, and all the food there, by the way, out of all the states like been to eating food, every meal we had in Atlanta was amazing.
Really?
Was phenomenal. I was not a grits person, and then I had grits there, and I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, all the food there was great, but like end of the night, we come home and it's like, 3, 4 in the morning at this point, because like, you got, as show ends, okay, you got to tear everything down. You got to settle up with the people there, chat with some people, make those good connections. But I get back to the hotel room, and we have like a thing of leftovers that's just like essentially chicken and waffles, but like not chicken and waffles. Like, there's a waffle, there's some chicken, there's just like, and I'm just slamming it. It was like, and there was some other things, I forget what it was, but like, that's the level, it's like cheeseburger, like,
there's food, I'm gonna eat it.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
It was just whatever was left over. But yeah, it's hard to eat healthy, but it's like, oh, it's a weekend, okay. So leading up to that, I try to like eat really healthy, and afterwards it's like, oh, give me a vegetable, please.
A salad.
Yeah.
You said something interesting though. When you're ending the night.
Yeah.
You got to stay there a little bit and chit chat, do the thing, make those connections.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have like a hard out, or you're just like, all right, we got to go?
Well, so there's hard outs. Well, it also depends like travel and stuff like that. But like, you always get caught up in it. Like, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times there's been like after show. It's like we need to go to bed, but it's now like 2 hours later because you're hanging out with the artists, you know. Because now like all the artists, if it's a big venue, maybe multi-stage ones, everything clears out and now it's just the artists hanging out there. You know, you're talking to the hospitality people. You know, you got to get paid too.
Right.
If they're not like wiring, sometimes they just want to give you a check, or sometimes you want to make sure it's taken care of. I gotta make sure I have all my cords. I've definitely left some stuff in places because I haven't been careful. But sometimes just like the hanging out and like the after show partying kind of like gets to you, and you're there longer than you want to be.
It reinvigorates you a little bit. You're like, oh,
absolutely, yeah. I mean, and I'm not gonna not smoke a joint with this artist who I just played this crazy show with, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna not take a like shot of tequila with them, you know. It's all in the good name of camaraderie and all
and
that.
for a little celebratory type of deal.
Exactly. And then the next morning sucks, and you're depending on if you got another show. Okay, now you're driving to this other place to play. You're tired. You're hungover. Okay, you gotta get to this place, and that's where it's like it's not so much like eating bad. It's just like lack of time to relax because you're constantly on the move. Like when we did Atlanta, we flew in, took a quick nap, shower like out the next day.
Yeah.
You know, doing the tour with Jason, it was like play the show out at, depends what time the place is closed at. Sometimes it's 2 a.m. Okay, now we gotta get some food, whatever, hang out, talk to people. Back at 5. Okay, hotel, you gotta be out at 10. Now we gotta drive to this other state.
Do you love that, or is it just like, are you a road dog, or?
I mean, I can be for those like short like bits of times. I think the longest like consecutive thing I've done is maybe like 4 days or something. And by the end of that, I'm just gassed.
Right.
Like I get home and I'm like, no one talked to me. Netflix.
I did the thing. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, but I mean, it's great. Like I wouldn't trade. You know, this is what I wanted my whole life.
Yeah.
This is what I've like been pushing for. So now it's here. I can't. You know, what am I gonna say?
I was also wondering because you know you have a manager.
Yes.
How much of that is set up by your manager, and like, you know, like I would hope that you're kind of just like, all right, I go and do the thing. We got the people that are like setting it up slightly. You know?
Well, so I just started working with him this year, actually.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like beginning of this year, up until that point, it was just me. Like,
okay.
and I'm gonna give a shout out right now to my mom and my girlfriend. They're like
big shout out.
The absolute
was
biggest.
Just Mother's Day.
It was.
I also saw you brought your mom out on stage. Was that for? It was for her birthday.
Yeah, that was in January. Literally on her birthday, I opened for Trivecta at Concord.
Yeah,
and it was literally on.
She
her
was
birthday.
Like, "Oh, I don't want to come on stage."
So what we set up was I had my girlfriend text my mom and be like, oh, there's something happening. You have to come back. Because my whole family ended up coming to that show. Like, and my brothers, if it's in Chicago, they'll usually pop out. But like we had like dinner beforehand, and then we went to take care of this show. And I was like, okay, she's coming out. We're getting a photo with her, like in front of everyone. As just like, you know, like a core memory kind of thing.
Yeah. And you got a picture. Yeah.
Yeah. The video's the best thing though. And of course I was like, oh, what song am I going to play? Okay. Birthday song, 2 Chainz. That was the song. If you listen, it's just like all I want for my birthday is a big booty. My mom's up there.
Your mom's just like, all right, can I get off stage now, please?
No. After the initial like no, she got into it. And,
I could see she was in.
But literally before my manager, like, and even now with him, like my mom and my girlfriend are every show that they can be. You know, my mom has been so supportive of me in my career, and literally all the shows, like she was coming with me to Madison to play shows, and then it's like we're coming home at like 5 a.m, like, and she's down for the ride.
Really?
Yeah, she's like ripping a 5-hour energy and like driving it. She's the professional Uber driver. You know,
that's amazing.
Yeah, when we did Arkansas for Backwoods, like she came too. Like she is always there, and you know it's just amazing to have her in my corner like that.
Yeah.
She's the number one fan, tied with, I'll have to say, my girlfriend, who, you know, she was pretty much like my tour manager for a while, helping me like set up my gear, break it down, like all the lugging and stuff. Like, you know, I'm just so grateful to have them in my life, and probably wouldn't be here without them and their support. Like, it's been a long road, you know, to get to this point, and it's been years and years and years, you know. No one becomes that, like, I love the saying, no one becomes an overnight success overnight. It takes like years to become an overnight success.
All that background work, yeah, for sure.
So, but now that Toma has come into the picture, it's funny how that happened. So he manages Kofresi.
I was going to say, dude, my friend just sent me a Kofresi song the other day. I was like, dude, I remember this guy. He went to Columbia. I went to Columbia.
Oh,
like,
shit.
And he does a lot of drumming on the pads.
Yeah, so I'll give Kofresi some free promo right now. He just dropped a song with Modest Yahoo.
Yeah, dude, that was the track.
Yeah, okay, cool.
It's like a remix of
Is This Love by Bob Marley.
By Bob Marley.
Yeah. So Toma managed his Kofresi and like a couple other artists, and I reached out to Toma, who I'd met because we were planning a show with Kofresi at Chop Shop. And I was like, hey, can you help me out and stuff like with this a little bit? He's like, yeah, I'll like see what I can do with some stuff. And Chop Shop show happens. It's Kofresi, me, another one of his artists, and the, Say What, and then this other artist, Alaska Jules. So everyone performed live. So it was a really cool show.
Oh, yeah.
And because we had Say What out in Chicago, Toma was like, we're going to bring you out to Colorado for New Year's to do a show. And I was like, that sounds great. Like, they're doing Say What. One artist was doing like a Say What and Friends for New Year's at your mom's house. We want you to come out and play. Cool. Sounds great. And I don't really fit that music at all. Like, I'm kind of like the black sheep of the group with my style of music, you know? And I came down and I threw this set down, and it just went insane.
Nice.
People were going crazy. Like, it was absurd. I didn't expect it, the way it popped off. And then like a couple weeks later, I hopped on a call with him, and he's like, all right, let's see what we can like start doing now, like with us. Like, you know, we'll start small, and if it goes somewhere, great. And it just, this year has been massive.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say this, but I don't like, the universe works in amazing ways.
Life is weird.
Life is weird, but really, like, the universe, like, it was just crazy how stuff lines up sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Like the synchronicity of it type of thing.
Yeah, like it falls into place like it's meant to be. And that's how it's felt with Toma. And just having someone else help me get to these points without me just doing it on my own has been tremendous. And he's amazing at what he does. He goes 150% with it for all the artists, and it's just amazing, dude. Like, I'm so grateful that it happened the way it did, because we're taking over the world slowly.
Let's go. What are some like dream venues you would love to play? I mean, like, obviously we got like Red Rocks and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, I just heard from someone on the drive here, actually, that the Red Rocks venue, I think, is going to be changing to another location because the bass has just damaged the rock formations.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what he was just telling me. So I was like, shit. So, I mean, obviously that's a dream venue.
I knew that the town nearby, I forget what it's
probably
called.
pretty pissed about
it's
all
probably like, yeah, no, I know that they were like not happy about all the bass music.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it was actually just, you know, like
it makes
hurting the
sense.
structure. It does make sense, yeah. Also, with just so many people up and down on the stairs, probably going off onto like different areas of it.
I mean, if we dive into how the pyramids were built through sound frequency and movement,
Dude, do you believe that?
Honestly, I've seen the like frequency suspension stuff.
Me too.
Like,
I sometimes it'll pop up in my feed and be like, "Yep, that's some crazy tech we haven't gone down yet."
We haven't, but it makes perfect sense. Like, everything is frequency.
I mean, I fully agree.
So, yeah. So, I mean, obviously, Red Rocks, a lot of bass.
Certain resonant frequencies are like fucking up the rocks and shit. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure also just sound constantly blasting with the people jumping up and down and stuff like that. It's got to take its toll. Like, you know, water cuts through rock over time.
Over time, yeah.
Why can't sound?
Interesting. So, damn, that would be a sad day to see Red Rocks go. I mean, maybe it would just be like bluegrass.
I think from what my understanding is, and again, like this isn't confirmed by anyone, this is just something I heard,
Yeah.
is that it might just be like another part of it will become like the EDM bass side. And they'll still do like bands and stuff there.
Okay.
But yeah, so Red Rock's a dream venue,
Sure.
obviously. The Caverns,
Yes, dude, that one looks sick.
the Gorge.
The Gorge, yes.
When I started out, the Mid was the dream, and
Yeah.
I was so thankful I got
Did
to
you
play
get to
it
play
before
it?
it closed. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I closed out the night for Grand Theft and Crane.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank you, Fi. Yeah, he doesn't work in the scene anymore, but he's the one who gave me that opportunity, and
Nice.
I'll always remember that. That was a dream venue, like going there with like
Definitely.
a fake ID
Yeah.
and
Oh,
go
yeah.
to see these places and being like one day,
Yeah, in the Mid, they used to have just like all these pictures of DJs that have come through, and it's like everyone.
everyone.
Yeah.
I'd love to do Aragon.
Yeah.
But I recently just got announced for a dream venue of mine, which was Radius in Chicago. I'm
dude.
playing with Closey, someone who is blurred out on the poster,
Okay.
and Saturna. And I'm super excited to play that
Dude.
venue.
I want to go to that.
Dude.
Radius is cool.
Radius is sick. I the first time I tripped at a show was there. It was for Seven Lions, like a couple years ago. Oh my gosh, his visuals are crazy regardless, but that was an amazing experience.
Seven Lines is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him at the Concord when I used to work there, and it was like the bass was so intense
Yeah.
that I was like underneath the stage, and I was just like, dude, I've never felt it like that.
What's really crazy is a lot of people don't know unless you've been in the green room of Concord. I think they fixed it now, but there's a pipe that runs through the green room, and you'll see these like little Sharpie marks on it, and it's from the floor moving up and down when people go crazy and all like just start jumping up and down. It actually moves the floor, so they have markings of like how low it's gotten
Dude,
on this pipe. Like
that's
that's a little
freaky.
bit cool, little bit of
cool.
information,
I didn't
but
know that.
yeah.
interesting. So, I mean, you've played some of the best, venues in Chicago. Aragon, again, that's a classic.
That's one I definitely want to. Haven't yet. Just because seeing so many shows there.
yeah.
But yeah, I've been really lucky to have the opportunities to do that, and it's a lot of cold calls. That's the biggest thing I can tell anyone. Like,
You believe in the cold call. Okay, good. That brings me a hope, because like I'm kind of
Yeah.
I've done some of that, and you get like maybe like one thing to work, and you're like, okay,
Yeah, but that's all you need.
yeah,
And now that's on your EPK, you can leverage that for something else.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm pumped. This year we have like 7 ex-Medias artists playing North Coast.
Dude,
So that'll be cool.
North Coast this year. There's so many people playing. You're playing,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm on Saturday on the EDM Chicago stage, which is like the fire pit.
Oh,
So that'll be cool. And we have 2 other ex-Medias artists on that stage, Blackout and Meridian. Jay Willie's playing Sunday. And then on some other stages, we have Galena Crew, Airluge, Hash BBC.
nice. The takeover, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the after party? The ex-Medias after party.
Unfortunately, like, it's just out there,
I know. So I was thinking, maybe we like throw something close by there or something, but
Dude, I would be down for that. I mean, I'm definitely gonna go this year because it's just like there's so many homies playing, and like I went a couple years ago and I was like, I don't know, it's kind of out here now.
it really is. But
For people who don't know what I'm talking about, in Chicago, there's a festival called North Coast, and it's out kind of by Midway Airport.
it's like an
which is
hour
like-
away from the city, 45 to an hour.
It's kind of out, yeah. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get to because once you finish the festival,
You got to get home.
it's like, how the hell do I get home? There's like no taxis.
Dude, let me tell you this story. We went, I think it was 2 years ago, and we stayed at the hotels by there because they have like all the hotels like just for the people that are like 15, 20 minutes away. And we were stranded there after the festival for hours. Couldn't get an Uber. We ended up walking like 3 miles away from SeatGeek Stadium. Still couldn't get it. Someone had to come and like One person, thank God, had a car, and they were just like shuttling their friends back and forth, and we're like, "Can you please pick us up after you do that?" And she did.
Yeah.
Shout out Alex.
Yo, shout out.
No, for real. Like, she was a real one for that. She scooped us. And my buddy's like falling asleep on the like, parking spot, the cement like things at the front of the dividers. He's like passed out on one of those in a McDonald's parking lot. Like, we're just waiting for hours. But yeah, it is out there.
Yeah. I remember when I went, we somehow like finagled a ride with someone, one of our friends that was leaving. And if we didn't do that, we would have been waiting there for like a couple hours.
So I will say the best move you can do if you're not staying at the hotel and doing a shuttle service is one person each day, switch off driving. We did that last year where there was me, my girlfriend, and Noelle. We just went to go. And we just switched off. All right, someone's driving there, someone's driving back, and just alternated all 3 days.
One. Yeah.
Pretty much. I'm like, I'll drive there.
Yeah. No, that's a real game plan.
Yeah.
I mean, especially for Chicagoans, there's a lot of festivals out here, but that one's kind of far.
It is, but the lineups are always stacked. Like, you can't argue that.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good festival. I just wish it was still at Union Park.
Yeah, back in, that was I took my mom there once. We went. She wanted to come and see Chet Faker.
Oh yeah.
So we roll in, we see Chet Faker. She's like, okay, that's what I wanted to see.
All right.
Can you get me a beer before you leave? I'm still underage.
Yeah. Was she a cool mom?
Oh
like
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she's a really cool.
Not
mom.
to incriminate anyone here, that never happened. But
no, she's really cool. She she's super open to all of us living our lives and doing our experiences, as long as it's not something like ridiculous and crazy.
Yeah.
She's really welcoming of all that. So it's great to have that like safe space, and I can tell her anything, or I was tripping Zach at 7 Lives, and she'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, fun. Yeah. Yo, well, not to have this go all night. I know we can talk for a long time, but I feel like it would be cool to play a couple more songs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I have a little wrap up question, and we can call it a day.
Okay, cool.
But what should we play?
Let's see. We can do the other collab with Ex Medias artist. This one's with Meridian.
Cool.
It's called ID collab or something. Or, yeah. We're finishing this, so there's not a second drop. We're finishing this this Tuesday coming up.
Cool.
So we're pumped for this one.
Hell yeah. Always the best like cinematic boom. Like you really figured out how to do that shit. Like it sounds good.
Cashmere, baby.
Oh yeah?
Cashmere sample packs. No, I'm just joking.
Cashmere Cat. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude,
Cashmere with a
Cashmere
K.
Cat was dope.
Yeah, no, I know.
He was like, "What's up?" and then just dipped.
I saw him at the Mid.
Ooh, I saw him at North Coast.
Oh, really?
Back when it was at the Union.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the same year as Kid Cudi and like Adventure Club and stuff.
Oh, I don't know.
Keys
if I
and
was
Crates.
there. Dude, Keys and Crates. This is very cool.
Yeah. Like wonky house.
Yeah. That one moves the speaker count, dude.
Yeah. I'm excited for us to finish this. And this part we're thinking like vocals on. There's no second drop, so you're just gonna literally hear a build up and then it's gonna stop.
Okay, maybe we can fade it out, Ryan.
But yeah, no, super pumped for that one. We're like, bro, if we need Monster Cat for this, because this belongs on Rocket League.
Yo, I love Rocket League.
Rocket League. Meridian's really good. He's a pretty high level. He's good at it.
I don't think I've ever heard anything like that, but I feel like it'd be great for a festival too.
Oh yeah, so we're planning on shooting the music video for that at North Coast because we're both playing same day, same stage. Like shooting
nice.
a little,
Play that, get the footage type of deal.
cut it all together kind of thing.
Nice, yeah, that's dope, man. I literally have never heard anything like that. So
I know.
I'm very excited.
It's
about
super
that.
unique. I'm like, dude, we need to finish this track and make like 4 more. And
Yeah. Once you hit something, you're like, all right, we got to just like carbon copy, make a couple variations.
exactly, yeah. Start a duo project.
Yeah. You know, it just dawned on me. I never asked about your name and where it comes from. That's something I normally ask.
So many people ask, and
This will be the final time that they'll be allowed to ask because you'll just be like, you have to go watch this now.
oh man,
No,
I knew this day was gonna come where I had to give the actual reasoning
On record.
on record. Really stoned out of my mind in my bed, hanging out one night. And I was like, I need to come up with a new name. Obviously, I've gone through like 7 aliases in my life, like music change, different. Oh, this is cooler. But this was really like the start of a new sound and like really making this more melodic style music. Before that, it was mostly me just doing like bass stuff and like edits and flips of stuff. But it's crazy because now like my album next year is gonna be like way more bass centered. So it's like full circle. But I was just thinking, I'm finally like able to do this to the extent that I want to, where my music was sounding good enough. So boom, able. And that's why it's spelled LE instead of EL, because like able to do it. And then gray came from, and like in life, nothing's black and white. It's really just shades of gray, as like cliche as that sounds. It's really just, nothing's like super cut and dry. It's all just what we make of it, and there's no right or wrong answer. We're all just doing our best to get by, and yeah. So yeah, Abel Gray. If you ask one of my brothers, he'll say it's because I was watching Sons of Anarchy and the guy named his son Abel.
That's why. And you use Ableton, right?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's another thing about my girlfriend. Right after I like changed my name, she was like, Ableton's such a cool name. I wish you could make that your DJ name. I'm like, I can't.
And it's also great, like the out the box.
Yeah,
it's great.
I know.
Dude, that's why you weren't even thinking about it, but that's it.
Bro, subliminal messaging.
Yeah, it knew.
I got a question for you. I got a question for both of you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I feel bad. You sit over there.
Ryan's chilling.
Aliens come to Earth.
Okay, first of all, I was just gonna say gray. Like, you know how aliens are gray? That's like okay. Sorry.
Oh, I can tease. I don't know if I want to tease something. Okay, yeah, I'll save that for the next time. I'll save something for the next time. Okay, so aliens come to Earth and they ask you to give them one rap hip hop album, just one album that solidifies like what rap and hip hop can be for all mankind.
Dude, I wonder if we have the same answer.
I'm gonna wait for you guys to answer.
I feel like
first.
we might just because it's obscure.
Yes.
I mean, okay, this is not a good answer because for like the hip hop heads, they'd be like, that's the most random pick.
So let me say this though, not your favorite, what you think is like the epitome.
Pinnacle, yeah.
So because there's a different, like, my favorite one is different than the one that I think would be the one to give them.
All right, so yeah, that's when you got to go into like the hip hop head mode where you're like, it's got to be like a big pun or like who else is just like in the classic. I don't know. This is like a question for my brother. Ryan, you got anything?
Dude, the one that I thought that we'd both say is Deltron
3030, yeah.
Because one, alien-centric.
Yeah.
2, concept album. Who does not love a concept album?
I really do.
And also,
Mastermind's a great track.
Dude.
Virus. I mean, there are just so
They're
many
all
good
so
ones.
good,
Because
dude.
it paints a picture. I feel like there are very few albums that really set you into a scene as effectively as that happens. It's like beautiful storytelling in a way.
I mean, yeah, like he definitely did a lot of drugs and, did that album. And I fucking love that album, man. But I feel like the hip hop heads are gonna get mad though.
I think the hip hop heads would like
Big
that.
L, Big Pun,
As the rap
Notorious
album.
B.I.G. Like I don't know which album. Fuck, I forget what the name is. See, like I haven't done my homework. What would you say?
Good Kid, Mad City.
See, I was thinking like a Kendrick.
And I only say that because that album alone not only hits like multiple beat styles, but like he has tracks on there where like you're gonna turn up a little bit, but he has also tracks where you're listening to the lyrics, like The Art of Peer Pressure. Dude, that song when you're in the car with them doing like.
Ryan, you put me on to Kendrick. I remember a long time ago.
Yeah, and that album's really effective in storytelling too, and setting you in a place, setting you in a time. You really feel like you get a peek into his world,
Into the
his
life he grew
mind.
up in, like in Compton. Yeah.
Yeah, does a good job of that.
Straight out of Compton. No, I mean I don't know, man. Like that's a good pick. I just feel like you got like the old school heads will be like, man, everything that Kendrick does is built off of this.
I mean, yeah, but like, I mean, if that's okay, but this is like under the impression, here's one album that like showcases all of humanity, like not like like all of humanity, but like this is our champion album for hip hop. If it was going to go against like hip hop albums across the universe.
Yeah, I would also say maybe like Illmatic. Nas,
Classic.
really good. Fuck. I don't know. You know what's another interesting question? If aliens came here and we had to give them like the epitome like electronic album, which is like so hard to pin down because there's so many genres.
Okay. Well, Random Access Memories, Daft Punk.
That's actually a perfect answer. I mean, or
Okay, that's harder
like
because
Discovery,
like
maybe.
Discovery would be better. I just said that more because that was like
Well, Random Access Memories is like for everyone.
yeah, they
what I
really.
mean?
I mean, it's the most human album they made. If I say Human
Right.
versus the Robot because that was like their whole thing, but like they started off very robotic sampling, and then by the end of it, like I don't know if you guys listened to
The 10th anniversary.
yeah, and they have like all the jam sessions on there and stuff. Like
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm here. I'm living for all of it, no
Yeah.
matter if they're like not throwaways, but just like afterthoughts of releasing them. I'm still here for it.
EDM. I mean, Porter Worlds is
Okay.
like timeless. I mean, that's one of my favorite EDM albums for sure.
There's too many genres.
I
That's kind
know.
of the problem.
I know. M Machine. I don't know if you guys jammed on
Oh, I
M
like
Machine.
M Machine.
Dude, their old stuff
The-
like Metropolis 1 and 2.
Rose Garden. What's it?
Yeah, Rose Garden.
That song? It's like in my head, and
in
it just
my
like
head.
picks up. Dude, that song's crazy,
Bro, so those two EPs they dropped, Metropolis 1, Part 1 and Part 2, I still think you play them today, the production is still there.
It was super clean too.
And the mixing's there. And I don't know if you've ever heard, they have a mix when like Outlaw did their mix series. M Machine has one, like Outlaw After Dark,
those-
Space Jams.
Those mix series were bomb.
Listen to the M Machines. I will stand by it. That is the best like mix that anyone has ever made. They go through all genres and they don't even play their own tunes. They play like the remixes of their tunes, and it like
Oh, cool.
they sample Charlie Chaplin's Great Dictator speech throughout the whole mix.
Wild.
Dude,
That's cool.
If you got an hour, throw it on.
I'm always
and
here
just-
for a good speech.
the
throughout.
music they like, the choices that's how I got onto James Young, actually, was through that mix. I don't know if you guys know James
I'm
Young.
not familiar with James Young.
Amazing artist. I'm sure if you heard a couple of his songs, you know who he is, but like you also catch him on like the credits for like Zoo tracks and stuff. Like, he's definitely worth checking out. He's not like EDM. He's more of like instrumentalist with EDM like influence.
Cool. I mean, God, there's so much older electronic music that like Aphex Twins.
4
or
times
just-
4 equals 12.
Yeah, yeah. Dead Mouse. We got. I mean, there's like, there's so much.
I know.
man.
And then you got to
It's too
categorize
much.
like electronic versus like electronic dance music versus like
IBM.
yeah, because like Aphex Twin, like I'm sorry, that's not like EDM
No,
at all, but it's
No.
sick.
It's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is if like aliens came down, I'd try to get them on a podcast. If that wasn't the most Joe Rogan line ever spoken in this podcast, I don't know what else is.
What is one question you'd ask the aliens?
What does music sound like? Or is there music?
Ooh.
You know? Do they even like have to?
Well, if the aliens built the pyramids, and the
have
pyramids
ears.
are built off of frequencies, that. Oh, I just watched. It was okay. It was an Apple TV show, Invasion.
Haven't seen it.
But they toy with like the frequency side of things just a little bit. Like it's teased in the show that like frequency is like how they move and stuff, and that was cool. But other than that, yeah, that's my little spiel.
All I know is that alien scary movies are by far the scariest to me, because when aliens come down, you're fucked. You know what I mean?
Or
you have no, well, unless it's like War of the Worlds and they're just like, we can't deal with the common cold.
Or so here's the theory: when aliens do come, it's going to be a hologram created by the government. Wait. I mean, dude, we had
here.
Tupac holograms how
No, I
long
know.
ago?
We got AI now.
So
too.
we have holograms. We do have some. So this is a quick little rabbit hole. To introduce new technology into our society without it being too drastic of a change.
I could see it.
We have this technology already. I mean, the technology we have that isn't general knowledge is absurd.
Oh, I'm big on the what are the UFO sightings going on?
Well, not even that. Like the stuff that they have created, like to defy gravity and speed and transportation, just that alone, and weapons. Like, dude, the rail guns they have now, or they've had, that just use magnets.
Yeah, like in Transformers, they're like, we need the rail gun.
Yeah, wild. So do a deep dive. But anyways, to introduce all this technology, they're going to stage aliens invading Earth, Dr. Manhattan Watchmen style. Do you know what I'm getting at with there? So like the world can unite, go against it, and now, oh, we have all this new technology and this is how we got it. It's just a little theory.
I could see it. Ryan?
I know what I'm asking the aliens. Yeah, I'm gonna ask them, do you guys like really do all that butt stuff? Because for 60 years, everyone's been saying aliens do. They've been playing with their butts. I gotta ask him, is this just our own anal retentiveness as a society, or are you guys actually really into that?
I think so. I mean, where's the male G spot?
Oh, it's in the butt.
Dude, I think Ryan's onto something here. I mean, they might be probing just for fun.
Yeah, they might just be trying to open up our society. Maybe our society's just being held back because guys are afraid to do butt stuff.
That's real. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, if they know how to get to Earth, they definitely know how to get to butt, dude. How to make that
Dude,
feel.
that's where the portal is. It's
The
in your
portal.
asshole.
Do you guys believe that there was the like exchange of like technology for humans between the government and the aliens back in the day, like when we saw that huge boom of technology from like phones becoming cell phones? Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I feel like it's a romantic thing.
You're just
know?
really caught up on the butt stuff. I know.
I mean, I'm down for the butt stuff. Not like I haven't really done it, but like I'm down for whatever. But like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like the aliens, if there were aliens, which there definitely are aliens, but like if they came to Earth, like I feel like they would just be so advanced that it's like we think of them as being like more human and like being like, oh, we can make a deal. It's like, dude, they're already like harvesting suns. You know what I mean?
It's like, imagine rolling into the Wild West era with a smartphone in a car.
yeah, like that.
People
Yeah,
would be like,
exactly.
what is this?
Yeah, like it's so beyond.
What do you mean? Like, it's beyond our comprehension.
Like they don't even exist. They actually just like travel through dimensions. Who knows? I mean, I don't fucking know.
Man, we could talk about a lot of stuff.
I love
dude.
how you went down the alien hole, because like that's kind of what podcasting is all about.
I
baby.
know, right?
All right, let's
And on the
let's do a little wrap up question.
for sure.
And so the wrap up question that I do is, you know, we talked about a lot of shows actually, but the one that I'd like to ask you about is, what was like the game changing show that you've seen, like the most impactful
That I've witnessed or
concert.
played.
Well, I'd like to say witnessed,
Okay.
but we could also talk about the one that you
No,
played
that's
because
fine.
they're both. We do both sometimes too.
That I've witnessed.
Like you saw it and you were like, dude, I can't go back because that just blew my mind.
Jeez.
I mean, obviously the first one's always pretty
Yeah, like
important.
the Skrillex one was really cool, like first EDM show, but I don't want to say that because like it's the first one, so most impactful, obviously.
Right.
Man, Porter's Worlds or the Shelter tour where Porter and Maddion did stuff together, like the whole set, or also Maddion's last show too. Honestly, Porter and Maddion are like OGs. Like their stuff was amazing. They were like teenagers and cranking out stuff people can only dream of. But their level of production is ridiculous. It's I don't know if you've caught any of those shows.
I saw Porter when he did the World's Tour at Aragon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how crazy, like, cause
It
it's
was
like a
pretty
story.
wild. Yeah, dude, it was crazy.
And
I'll just say, like, I wasn't like the biggest Porter fan when I went to the show, but I left being like, that was really cool.
And what
his visuals were really cool.
visuals and the fact that he flipped so many of his own songs just for the show. You know, like he didn't release any of those tracks. They were just specific to that tour.
See, that's the thing is like sometimes when you know, like I didn't know that going in, and I was just kind of like, wow, this is fantastic.
I didn't either, but then like he's going, and you can find remakes of them online and stuff, but like it was just there in that moment that you got to hear that version of a song. That was wild. Yeah, production was crazy, and the live element was really cool. Like he was really, you know, one of the first on that like big level to do the full live performance.
Yeah. Porter's a big influence, it sounds like.
Yeah, he definitely was. And if you listen to like my early Abel Gray release stuff, you'll hear a lot of ARPs.
I do love good art though.
My buddy Tadino, Alex, who goes by Escape, we've been working on music forever, and he made a meme of me because like I love ARPs, and it's like the eye dilating meme. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's just like ARPs. It's like,
Dude, they're sick.
They are.
Have you seen that meme where it's like, music theory, no need for that. I'm just gonna throw an ARP on it and see what happens.
you know what's crazy is I don't use the like ARP whatever like effect in Ableton. I forget if it's MIDI or an audio effect.
Yeah.
And I just plug in all the notes myself.
Oh, and you just like run them like.
Yeah, just plug each one in, like get the variations and stuff.
That's cool.
And it's a little I feel like, and I didn't even know there was an ARP thing until like way later. I was like with someone and they threw it on and I was like,
It instantly does that. Well, but the thing is, when you program it yourself, you can do way like that. There's way more control.
absolutely.
So I mean, that's kind of the meta. Honestly, sometimes I'll like print the MIDI from the ARP,
Oh yeah.
and then you can go from there. But normally, I forget to do that, and it's just kind of like the same ARP the whole time, and I'm like, I really
Yeah, dude.
could have done more.
I mean, we could just get into how like Ableton is by far the best DAW.
Oh shoot! Shots fired.
I mean, after
No,
trying
I
them
mean, I would agree. I'm an Ableton user through and through.
at the end of the day, you don't need Ableton to make great music. I know a lot of people who use like Fruity Loops and Logic and stuff, and it's what you're comfortable with. But from like music production, like that DAW is an instrument.
It's great. Yeah, it's really cool. I would agree.
Yeah.
I feel like on this show, I do a lot of like Ableton fanboying, so I try not to do it so much. But when you say it, I'm like, yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Oh man, yeah. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Crazy shit. Yo, where can people find you?
Everywhere on all streaming platforms.
Worldwide.
Yeah, Instagram, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube,
Abel Gray,
Abel Gray.
Okay.
If you
X
go-
Medias, go check that out too.
Yeah, if you just go to my Instagram, there's a little you can click for X Medias. There's a link tree that you can just boom all my music links. I make it super convenient for everyone.
That's nice. We appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. We got X Medias compilation dropping next week.
Hell yeah.
10 artists, 10 songs.
So
Pretty cool.
it will be out.
It will be out.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the 26th.
Yes. And this will be coming out in a couple weeks.
Okay. So
So it'll be out, but go check it out.
I would have played a different song. No, I'm just kidding.
No. We played some good songs.
Yeah, so I'm pumped for that. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure it's gonna go great. Like, all the artists are amazing. Great diversity of tracks.
Dude, hell yeah, man. Dude, thank you so much for coming out, man.
Thank you so much for hitting me up and having me on.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm sure we will continue this conversation once we take off the headphones too.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you, Ryan, for
Ryan,
all
holding
your
it
work
down.
back
We
there.
appreciate you, man. For everyone listening, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Peace.